I know a lot of you think that I go through guns like most of you change socks, and the truth of the matter is, I do. Hello, YouTube and world at large, lock and load ninjas, all of you out there that are out there today. This video is actually inspired. It's been inspired by some of your comments. Now, one comment that I found interesting was merch. When am I going to have hats, shirts, coffee mugs? I have had merch. Here is a lock and load radio ball cap. That's with my original logo. I paid a guy named Jerry Sarcodi to do that. It's a splendid logo. Most of those hats I gave away. I had coffee mugs. I still have most of those. And the t-shirts that I had, they ended up going into this whole thing where it became, I was using them to clean guns and polish my car and stuff like that. They weren't actually being worn as shirts by anybody. So nowadays, with any of the merch that I may get or any of that other stuff, if I get it, I get it primarily just for me to wear. If there ever comes a time to where there's such a clamor for merch, which I'm going to be honest with you, I just don't see that day coming. But if it ever does come, we'll do merch. One of the other questions I got, though, was, are there any guns that I will never sell? And I thought about that for a minute, and it made me smile because I've shot a lot of guns. But despite all those guns that I have shot, there are some that I will never let go of. And I'm going to show you some of them. There's one of them that's not here right now. There's only one that is not here. It's actually been sent, the Icarus Precision SIG M18. Well, that whole FCU thing, I have sent it back to SIG to be serviced, and I'll get it back later. But that will become one of the guns I don't sell. So let's talk about, and in no particular order, let's start. And let's start with this one. This was built by Roger Ward. It's made by Ace Firearms. It is a Poly 80 lower. It is serialized. And this is one of the guns I took to tactical response. And when I took it to tactical response, this gun ran like a watch. And it has never had a malfunction. I prefer this angle for a Glock type gun because it is closer to the 1911s I love so much. But this gun went through 2 days of torturous tactical response, Camden, Tennessee, in June, dusty. There was some times when we'd be doing stuff and you couldn't see the targets because of the dust. And this gun held up. It held up being dropped. It's completely drop safe. It has been painted one time. It has never been refurbished. I haven't, if I have to shoot it, I will. I'm not afraid to shoot it. It has I think this is called it's either a Zev trigger or a lightning trigger. I can't remember. But it is an absolutely lovely gun. And Roger Ward built this, and I mean, it has withstood a lot. I mean, it's probably, just that weekend alone is probably 1,500 rounds. So yeah, this is a gun, and plus, there's my tactical response fighting pistol. And I'm just glad that James Yeager wanted me to come to one of his classes. It took me 5 years to get to it. And when I finally got to it, I was never as pleased as having taken that class because it was a really good class. Now, Roger Ward has also built me one other gun. This is the Grizzly gun. This is built on a Glock 20. It is also a Poly 80 lower, and it is a 10 millimeter. And he built this for me simply because I was like, if I ever go out in the woods and I encounter black bear, grizzly bear, Kodiak marmoset.
Yes, Canada's most fearsome predator. The Kodiak marmoset is the world's largest, smallest primate.
My God, he's killing us! Help! Help!
Or Bigfoot. I'm going to want something that I can repel. And he spent a little bit of time building this one, and he built it out. I mean, this thing handles full house 10 millimeter loads like I don't know what. Like nobody's business. And I'll really, Roger Ward and Roger's been very good to me. His company is a diamond in the rough. I'm just waiting for him to decide to do this full time. Because if he ever decides to do it full time, he's going to take the market in places it's never been before. Then there's this. This is the Staccato C2. And this one is nothing special, but one of you, a guy named Lee Wollastek, he's emailed me, and he's the one that suggested Icarus Precision. So I went with that, and now he's emailed me about some other stuff like Monsoon Tactical and the Chile C2 grip and everything else. This is going to end up getting built. And this one will be... very shortly, me and 2 other colleagues are going to be training, and this will be the common firearm that we have. And this one is a work in progress. And yes, yeah. There's some things I said, why would you do it? And now I think the question is, why wouldn't I do it? And now we get into the good stories. I've always liked what would be referred to as a Gucci Glock, okay? I've had, and with sponsors, when the sponsor comes and goes, which is purely a business arrangement, never has anything to do with me. When they go, most of the time I quit running their gun. But occasionally somebody that's not a sponsor yet, or may become a sponsor, or is never going to be a sponsor, will do something for me. And we come to this. This is my Taran Tactical Innovations Combat Master. Now, this was brought about by a couple of things. One, Taran had told me that the Glock was the best gun in the world, and I went out and bought a Glock G45 and put an optic on it, tried to zero it in, and just couldn't shoot it. Just couldn't make it happen. And then we had another talk, and then he confided in me, well, you know, they're sort of garbage compared to what I do to them. And then he goes, but send me a Glock. I'll fix one. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Well, I didn't own any Glocks at that time. I had just, if you look back at my time, my chronology here on YouTube, you'll see that I made a video called I've Switched to SIG Again. And I got rid of every Glock I owned in the space of a day. So I had to go out and find this gun. And I did. And I sent it to him. And then what followed on was, it was a lot of fun. He sent me a bunch of video for the video that I shot with it. Drop tested it numerous times in the box. And what came out of it is a Glock with a straighter grip angle that I can shoot. And the fact that he offered to do that, and then he did it, and then he sent it to me for no other reason than, well, there was one other reason. He did say some bad words on my syndicated radio show, but that wasn't part of the negotiation. But yeah, that's a gun that's never going away. I don't care if someone, it'd take a lot of money. And then I would take some of that money and buy 2 or 3 more from him just to make up for that loss of the sentimental value. In terms of monetary value, this is my most valuable gun. This is my Chambers Custom Fat WMGC. Fat WMGC. And this has my name. That's my, right there is my name in German, which that means peace comes about due to cause, Frady. Steve Fisher introduced me to Joe Chambers, and Joe and I hit it off right away, and Joe became a sponsor of the show. And when this gun was being built, what I asked him to do, and if you would go back and look, this is the exact same specifications of the the 2019 Staccato P, which was more of a commander length, but a full grip, which is the big difference between these two guns. This one has a deeper grip. This gun is so controllable, it's ridiculous. And the next gun Joe builds is actually going to be one that has a compensator on it, and it'll probably be the same sort of geometry, but it'll have a compensator on it, sort of a la one of the YC squared, which is one of the Steve Fisher guns. And yeah, this is a gun that I will never let go of. And all of these guns I've shown you, I will never let go of. And I think it's important to have some stuff that you get out there, that one, that you can run, and two, that you just don't want to let go of. And I have a few other guns. Every SIG, every SIG but one. I have 2 other SIGs. They're expendable. I have some other guns. They're expendable. But these guns right here, these are just guns that I haven't figured out how to cremate them yet. I can't take them with me, but in the meantime, while I'm here, they're staying with me. If you have any other suggestions, and I like getting the suggestions because sometimes I just get this block. And getting suggestions from you is helpful. So if you have any other suggestions to make, please put them in the comments. I sincerely hope you like this kind of content. If you do, maybe you give me a thumbs up on that. Maybe you subscribe. I'm very nearly at 40,000. Then I just got to work on the other 60, and I'll be coming to you guys for that as well. Subscribe often and subscribe early. So with that, I'm out of here.